sheet in NBA history. Free agent DeAndre Ayton and the Indiana Pacers. 4 years, $133 million. ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
The concept of losing a player like DeAndre Ayton for nothing, which would happen if they didn't match in 48 hours, would be a devastating blow to Phoenix. We almost never see the loss of a restricted free agent to this level.
Brian Windhorst on NBA Today. Late in the first round of the Open Championship in Scotland, American Cameron Young, the leader after an 8-under 64. He's 2 shots ahead of Rory McIlroy's 66. Tiger Woods is now playing the home hole. He is at 6 over par. Oregon tight end Spencer Webb died accidentally Wednesday in a recreational area. According to police, Webb fell and struck his head near Oregon's Triangle Lake. He was 22. Early in the new college basketball season, Michigan State and Gonzaga will play on the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt?
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. We're going to chat with Paxton Kling 1 hour from right now. That's the outfielder, top 50 prospect in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft, who is no longer a top 50 prospect in the upcoming Major League Baseball draft because he has withdrawn his name from the draft. He will play at LSU. He'll be with us 1 hour from right now. We'll wrap up our LSU position previews to start hour 3. We'll look at the specialists. We'll look at punter, place kicker, the kickoff specialist, returners, all that good stuff coming up here to start hour 3. You probably saw it, but Kayshon Boutte is going to wear the number 7 jersey for LSU in 2022. LSU released on its social media earlier today a video compilation and photos of Kayshon Boutte wearing the number 7 jersey. So that is now official that Boutte will wear the number 7 for the Tigers in 2022. Maybe y'all know my feelings, and I don't mean for this to be a jersey commentary again, because I've done this plenty of times over the years. I've talked about jersey numbers, and I really don't care. You could put a poop emoji on the jersey. I don't care. I don't care what number you wear. It has no significance to me at all. It doesn't change how I view any game at all. My feeling has always been, hey, I'd rather you be the best at the number you wear and create your legacy that way. Like Joe Burrow with number 9. We'll never think of 9 any other way. Glenn Dorsey was 72. He'll always be 72 in my eyes. So I'd rather Derek Stingley been 24, been the best 24 ever, and Kayshon Boutte be the best number 1 ever. But I don't care. If they want to wear the jersey number, cool. For me, it's more if there is significance to the player or to the team, then in that respect, I'm down with it. Because when you look at Kayshon Boutte, I want to remind you this, okay? When Brian Kelly got to Baton Rouge, Brian Kelly came to Baton Rouge, and we had the conversation in his introductory press conference, and then as they started spring, about Kayshon Boutte. This is what Brian Kelly said. Again, you're talking about right around the first of the year. This is what Brian Kelly said about Kayshon Boutte.
We're in the process of building a relationship. We're, I would say, I know his last name right now. And I say that only because we're in that process of he's re-engaging. You know, he's been, injured. He's had a second surgery, but we're getting more acquainted every day. Look, he's a great player. He's a good kid, but this has been a rough spot for him. And what happens is you tend to get distracted because you're not involved in everything. But he's learning you got to be involved in everything, whether you're injured or not. And that's a process that he's going through, and we're seeing some really good changes. We had a nice conversation in the training room this morning where he's on top of his academics, and he's making good progress. But the good part about it is the surgery was successful. He's making good progress.
That's good. It's been a rough spot for him. It's the head coach, not mincing words. It's been a rough spot for him. The transition of staffs was tough on Kayshon Boutte. And I've said it here as plain as I can. If Gordon McKernan didn't step up and sign Kayshon Boutte to an NIL deal, Kayshon Boutte would be at Alabama today. I believe that. He may never answer the question firmly. That's okay. But there's enough people that know what was going on that believe that to be the case, and I'm one of them. So fast forward 6 months, and today Kayshon Boutte is wearing the number 7 jersey. And on his Instagram, when he announced it, the post that he put up read, 7 is bigger than football. It's about leadership, encouragement, accountability, and discipline. I had to grow into 7 to understand it. Already had the characteristics that I was striving for. To be chosen to wear this legendary number is an honor. I'm excited to be back on the field with my brothers and go to work this season. To do it in number 7 is a true blessing, following in the footsteps of some of the greatest players in LSU history. Greatness begins now. That's what matters more than the number. Because if this LSU offense is going to do any damn thing in 2022, 1's going to have to be a part of it. 7 is going to have to be a part of it. He's your best player. He is your best player on the football team. By a mile, he is your best player. He tilts the field every time the offense steps on the field. Whoever is the quarterback, Kayshon Boutte is going to be his best friend. He stretches a defense. He makes you commit a safety or double coverage, however you're going to do it. Dude's freaking incredible. We've seen it. Like, this isn't breaking news. But you have to have him engaged. So when you read Kayshon Boutte saying things like leadership, encouragement, accountability, discipline, what a contrast to what Brian Kelly said 6 months ago, where it was he's having a rough go. It has been a rough transition for him. That evolution clearly has happened from when Brian Kelly was hired to today, where Kayshon Boutte is awarded number 7. Look, Patrick Peterson was an amazing player, obviously. One of the greatest ever here. Same with Tyrann Mathieu and Leonard Fournette and everybody that followed. You could talk about DJ Chark and Grant Delpit wore 7 during the championship season. I mean, great players wear that number. I could also flip to the last 2 years and point out that the guys who wore it the last 2 years didn't even finish the season. I mean, Jamar Chase got number 7 and then opted out. Derek Stingley got number 7, played 3 games for you. So it's no guarantee. And look, Kayshon Boutte is enough of a transcendent player to where he's in that category. Where if he chose not to play this year, he's still going to be a first-round pick. I get it. He played half a season last year. He's got to prove he's healthy. But he can do that in a pro day. Derek Stingley did it. Derek Stingley proved in his pro day that he was healthy, became the number 3 pick. Kayshon Boutte doesn't have to play this year. LSU needs him to play this year if this offense is actually going to thrive. They need that guy. And it sounds like if you take him at face value, he's engaged. I'll tell you this one other part. And I know we talked about it, back in, and look, if you go look at Kayshon Boutte's been pinned tweet. It was December 29th. December 29th, he tweeted, "Ignore the rumors. I'm locked in." That was after Gordon did the deal with him, and he was locked in at that point. But, December the 29th, when he got locked in to now, it's had to be a transformation for him. And it's a great thing for LSU that it's happened because they're going to need him. And I'm going to be fascinated to see what this season, what a full season of healthy Kayshon Boutte looks like, and whoever is the starting quarterback, how it's going to work with that quarterback and Kayshon Boutte. But you got to have that dude rolling. You have to have him locked in and engaged and ready to put forth a full 12-game regular season to see what he can be. And I'm excited to see it. It certainly sounds like he's engaged as well. From that point where he decided he was staying. The other point I was going to make is back then on December the 29th when he tweeted, "I'm locked in." One of the things that mattered very much to Kayshon Boutte is the legacy of playing in Louisiana for LSU mattered to him. When he would confide in people close to him then, when the transfer possibility was out there, he wanted a reason to stay here because being a Louisiana kid from Westgate, playing at LSU, being in that lineage of Jamar Chase and Odell and Jarvis, like he wanted to be the next great LSU receiver from Louisiana in that line. Like, that doesn't matter to everybody. It doesn't matter to everybody. It matters to him. And this is further proof of it. So congrats to Kayshon Boutte. Seriously, on weathering that storm of being disengaged, battling back from the injury, the coaching change, everything that happened to get to this point today. And selfishly, like as an LSU fan, I hope he stays engaged and has an awesome season and plays the whole season. The last two sevens didn't. And it's worked out okay for both of them. Let's hope it's a different story for this one this time for LSU and for Kayshon Boutte. All right, it's after further review. Man, you want to talk about speculation? One of the most interesting speculative stories this offseason is centered around Sean Payton. And there's another layer of that story which has developed today. If you haven't heard the latest, there's a report that there are 3 teams that Sean Payton is interested in potentially joining next season. It's a report in the Miami Herald. We'll dive into it when we come back. Buckle up. That's next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. And I always encourage you to go read the reviews. And I share a lot of them with you because you see so many 5-star reviews like this one that came in from Kathy Kern, a River City's 1 Hour Air customer. And she mentioned Josh Porta, who's one of their technicians. Kathy wrote, "Josh is always courteous, professional, and explains everything clearly. He is a great representative of your company. I really appreciate the communication up to the appointment and the follow-up afterwards. Your team is A++. Thank you, River City 1 Hour Air team." It's River City's 1 Hour Air. You see them all over town. The big yellow vans and trucks with a giant clock on the side. You can't miss them. So many of your friends and neighbors do what I've done for years. I trust River City's 1 Hour Air. You can as well. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I mean, we are counting down the days. It is already Thursday. 4 days from now, we will be live at SEC Media Days Monday. Our coverage, of course, presented by Hudco Roofing. We're looking to be there. We're looking forward to being there. And LSU does take the stage on Monday, so day one of SEC Media Days. I believe they did that last year as well. I think LSU was on the first day. But in any event, we're looking forward to that coverage. Football is almost here. One of the really fascinating stories of this offseason has been Sean Payton. That's for the entirety of the NFL, not just here locally, but obviously for all of the NFL and all of football. When a massively successful head coach who is a championship-winning head coach leaves the game on his own at a relatively young age, that's always going to be very interesting. We talked about it a lot when Sean left and how it wasn't really a surprise. He's from the Bill Parcells tree. Parcells did this, won Super Bowls with the Giants, and then did TV for a couple of seasons, then jumped back into coaching. Obviously, we saw him with the Patriots and the Jets and then the Cowboys. But it's no surprise. Like Sean, this was always the path that he was going to take. He was never going to be a lifer. He was going to follow the Parcells path, and it looks like he's doing just that. The really interesting part for the Saints is, and the reason that we are all following these types of stories, is because if the Saints own Sean Payton's rights still, as he was under contract, so if Sean Payton wants to get back into coaching, which we all expect he will, if it's next year or the following, whatever it may be, whoever wants to acquire Sean Payton will have to compensate the Saints to allow him out of that contract. There's always this question of what would compensation look like? And I'm getting to the point because there's an update today. And I don't believe that it's plucked from the air. I believe that there is legitimacy here. The thing that I'll remind you of is that when John Gruden was traded from Oakland to Tampa Bay, Tampa gave up 2 1s, 2 2s, and $8 million to get John Gruden from the Raiders. So I'm not saying that if Sean Payton comes back in, that's going to be the baseline. but at least it's some perspective. And at that point, Gruden was a young coach in his 30s who hadn't won a championship yet. He won a championship his first year in Tampa, coincidentally, beating the team he had left, the Oakland Raiders. But that's part of this, is that the Saints are going to get some significant compensation if Sean Payton gets back into coaching, which is kind of why I'm rooting for it, and I think many of you are as well. So here's the update today from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. So this isn't Bible/bread. I mean, this is a legitimate news source. This is a guy in Barry Jackson who's covered South Florida sports for more than 3 decades. And so at the Miami Herald today, the headline is "Every Dolphin fan should root for Mike McDaniel." But here's a Sean Payton update just in case. And in the report from the Miami Herald, Barry Jackson report citing a source close to Sean Payton that Payton has 3 destinations in mind for next football season should he choose to coach in 2023. And those 3 are the Miami Dolphins, who reportedly had a flirtation with Sean Payton this offseason with the idea of bringing Sean Payton and Tom Brady together in Miami. There were reports that they even offered Tom Brady ownership in the Miami Dolphins to get that deal done. It clearly didn't happen. The Los Angeles Chargers are another, and the third is the one we all expect, which is the Dallas Cowboys. Now, per the report from Barry Jackson, there are 3 main criteria that Sean Payton's considering. One is warm weather. When you get old and achy, bro, you don't want to go deal with the snow. And when you're an offensive-minded guy like Sean Payton, it makes sense. You don't want to go play 8 games in a cold weather environment outdoors. Not that Buffalo's open, but you don't want to go to Buffalo or to Green Bay. Not that those spots are open, but you understand my point. He wants to be somewhere where the weather is warm, and I get it. Okay, that's 1. 2, he wants to go to a contender, a place with a roster that can contend, and that makes a lot of sense as well. Miami did a tremendous job this offseason of adding pieces to their roster to build a contender around Tua. We've talked a lot about Tyreek Hill. They've got plenty of offensive weapons there with Gesicki, and I get it. Okay, they added Teron Armstead, obviously familiarity there with Sean Payton. So Miami would make sense. The Chargers last year under Brandon Staley, year 1, they were 9-8. So, I mean, they just missed the playoffs, actually collapsed that way. But the Chargers had a winning record, a young, talented quarterback, one of the best offensive weapons in the game as well. So that makes sense. And then Dallas, you've still got Dak Prescott in place, and you're in a weirdly winnable division, and Dallas always seems to be a team we talk about every year but never quite gets over the hump. So we all understand why Dallas would be in there. So warm weather, a roster that can contend, and control over personnel decisions. That's the one that might be a tricky point for Dallas because Jerry Jones is so involved. But the relationship he has with Sean Payton, they may be able to get over that. So those were the 3. What's interesting is, and it's also worth noting that this source close to Payton, who cited the Miami Herald, said Sean Payton would never go lobby for a job that is filled. So he wouldn't go to Miami and say, hey, fire Mike McDaniel and hire me. If there were an opening, he might pursue that. But something else to keep in mind also on the Miami front is Tom Brady's a free agent after 2023. And Tom Brady said today that he's not saying he will play next year. He's not saying he won't play next year. So there could very well be the possibility that Tom Brady goes to Miami and plays next year with Sean Payton. Like, that deal could be redone. The other thing I'll remind you about with Miami is firing a coach after 1 year wouldn't be altogether unprecedented. They did that with Cam Cameron. Cam Cameron was the head coach for 1 year. He was 1-15. They axed him. So there's precedent there in Miami for firing a coach after 1 season. I don't think Miami's going to be terrible this year. But then again, they just had a really good coach in Brian Flores who they fired, and I don't mean to get into all the particulars of that case. But I guess my point is it's kind of the cost of doing business. If you'd have to pay a large buyout to a coach to get rid of him to get the guy you want, you do it. And if you're a billionaire owner, you don't really care. You're flippantly spending money anyway, and if you're trying to build a winner, that's what you do. So, Mike McDaniel would be an interesting one in Miami, where clearly there would be an opportunity to build a winner there. The Chargers are interesting to me because Brandon Staley, at 39 years old, feels like a really good young coach. He's got their quarterback of the future there with Justin Herbert. who at this point is entering year 3 of his professional career, his second year with Staley, and you might think that they would build upon that, but in a really tough division. So could you see things going sideways in Los Angeles with the Chargers? Maybe, because you got to play Kansas City twice and you got to play the Raiders twice, and they just brought the best receiver in football there to pair with Carr, his college teammate. And then obviously Russell Wilson's in Denver, so that division got really, really tough. Is it plausible you could see a scenario where the Chargers take a step back, and if they have an opportunity to get Payton, they move on? Maybe you could certainly do that. And Dallas is the one that forever has always made the most sense. It's just, Mike McCarthy, who came in the COVID year, which was really a tough situation to come in, but 2 years there with McCarthy, they just haven't put it together. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility for Jerry Jones to make that decision after year 3 if they wanted to move on and he had an opportunity to get Sean Payton. I guess my point is with this is that any of the 3 situations, they could all make it work if they wanted to, right? If the situation presented itself where Sean Payton wanted to get back in, any one of those 3 spots, if they coveted Sean Payton, there's a scenario where they can make it work. Now, maybe Miami wins the division this year, and that's not even a conversation. Maybe year 2 under Staley, 3 under Herbert, they take a giant step and win the division, and this isn't even a conversation. I don't think Dallas is going to win their division this year, but then again, who really knows what to expect out of that division? Dallas still feels like the most likely, but I do respect the source. This is Barry Jackson, who has covered sports in South Florida for 35 years. This is being reported in the Miami Herald. This isn't a fly-by-night podcaster or internet source, or citing sources. This feels reputable. So if that's what Sean Payton's eyeing, those are the 3 as of now: Dolphins, Chargers, Cowboys. And we'll continue to watch this with keen interest because we all have a very keen interest in what happens with Sean Payton. For me, I'd prefer him to go either Miami or Los Angeles because I would rather see Sean Payton in the AFC than in the NFC. Dallas still feels like the most likely, but whatever it's going to take for the Saints to get compensation for Sean Payton, at this point I want, especially after you traded away your draft picks a year ago, moving up in round 1. So as that develops, we'll follow it. But for now, that's the latest involving Sean Payton and his future. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. We'll get a Open Championship update in about 15 minutes from right now. And a Paxton Kling, who is a top 50 player in the country, actually a top 15 player out of the high school ranks, number 1 player in the state of Pennsylvania. He announced that he is foregoing the draft. He will be an LSU Tiger. Paxton Kling will join us in about 30 minutes from right now to start hour number 2. We're looking forward to that. All right, stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Boy, there are dark clouds brewing over the capital city right now. Feels like these summer storms that come through. And we are in the middle of storm season. Do not get stuck with a power outage. Do not get stuck waiting in long lines for gas. Do not get stuck waiting in long lines for ice. Do not get stuck sweating in your house because you haven't had AC in days. Schutz Electric can install a whole home generator at your house just like they did at mine. Hands in the air. Erica bugged me about it for years. We finally pulled the trigger, and I'm thrilled that we did. Schutz handled everything. I didn't even realize. There's permitting that has to go on. You have to talk to the energy company about your gas meter. There's all kind of stuff. Schutz handled all of it. They were so good to work with. CESofLA.com. Request an estimate. It's affordable. Financing is available. CESofLA.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital.
I started singing bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, this'll be the day that I die.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Little baseball transfer news. Jacob Hasty looks like he's headed to Missouri. Leah Van had it on Twitter. She's at @LVan_sports. That's per the D1 Baseball Transfer Tracker. Hasty, as we've talked about, was a really interesting member of the LSU team this year. He pitched a year ago, and then, as Jay Johnson said pretty candidly, just wasn't very good in the fall. But worked, with the staff, with Jason Kelly, the pitching coach, continued to improve. And by the end of the season, he was a valuable left-hander for a team that didn't have many. They really had Riley Cooper and Jacob Hasty. That was kind of it. Trey Schaefer, of course, was on the roster, and Javen Coleman tore his UCL and was done for the season. So it's a little surprising considering you didn't have many great options among your left-handed pitchers, and that was a really good story and a guy that worked hard to become an important part of your staff at the end of the season to see him go. But there's two sides of that coin. Obviously, you hate to see a valuable staff member go, but when he leaves, he's probably seeking playing time. So that's an indication that you feel good about your staff for next year. And if you just look at lefties, Trey Schaefer is out of eligibility, and now Jacob Hasty is transferred. But Javen Coleman's going to be coming back off of injury, and Riley Cooper was such an integral part of what you did out of the bullpen last year, and he's back for his junior year. So you'll have Javen Coleman, Riley Cooper, and then when you look at the signees among the left-handers, Nate Ackenhausen, he's a lefty. He's from Eastern Oklahoma State, transfer. He's one of those 50-50 guys that they're going to see if they can get him on campus. Nick Bronzini is a lefty out of California. He's the number 2 left-handed pitcher in the state of California, the number 128 overall prospect. He's going to show up. He's one that they're going to get. So it's 2 lefties, potentially, 1 for sure. Griffin Herring is a lefty out of Southlake. He's already said he's coming to campus. So that's 2 for sure, 3 possible. Michael Kennedy is a lefty out of New York, the number 1 left-handed pitcher in the state of New York. He's a question mark right now. They'll have to sweat him out. Robbie Snelling, they're obviously not going to get. We know that. He'll be a first-round draft pick, and he'll sign. So, again, to recap, you'll have Javen Coleman back. You'll have Riley Cooper back. You'll have, for sure, Bronzini and Griffin Herring. And then you are going to sweat out Michael Kennedy and Nate Ackenhausen. So you'll at least have 4, possibly 6 left-handed pitchers. So if you're Jacob Hasty, you're clearly just sitting there looking at opportunity and where it might lie. And that's just among the left-handed pitchers. That's not even counting the starters that LSU signed in the transfer portal, where you've signed 3 starting pitchers out of the portal this year, and you're bringing back guys who have starting experience from Blake Money and Dutton and Taylor, so Ty Floyd. It's just crowded. So it makes a little sense that if you're Jacob Hasty and you feel like there's greener pasture somewhere else where you're going to get on the mound and get innings, you go get them, and it looks like Missouri is going to be his spot. So Jacob Hasty, who entered the portal, is headed to Missouri. All right, after further review, we're brought to you by DraftKings. The Open Championship going on right now. We'll get an update here in less than 10 minutes from right now. You want to bet on it at DraftKings, you can. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, where you can get up to $1,000 risk-free on your first bet at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Again, it's important. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. That's how you unlock that offer. Up to $1,000 risk-free on your first bet if you're a new customer. So, again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. If you want to bet Major League Baseball, you want to bet NBA Summer League, the Open Championship, it's all available. And they've got great same-game parlays as well. Just when you download the app, you'll see right there. Same-game parlays are available. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. One right now is up. It's 3 different potential quality starts among Carlos Carrasco, Sonny Gray, and Nestor Cortez. You can look at it right there. It's plus 548. If you want to go play that same-game parlay right now, you can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. All right, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Tennessee Volunteers.
Tennessee baseball committed an NCAA violation when they recruited Maui Ahuna from Kansas. I know you're going to be stunned to learn that. This is a level 3 violation, however. Apparently, they approved his flight to campus before receiving his transcript. This happened while Tennessee was heading into the Super Regional against Notre Dame. They were hit with a light penalty. Ahuna spent the last 2 seasons at Kansas. Tennessee did self-report the violation. They did not, however, self-report that they paid him 6 figures to go to school there.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
South Carolina did not land their preferred 2023 quarterback target when Dylan Lonergan committed to Alabama earlier this week, but they may be about to fill their 2023 spot anyway. Adante Reno committed to South Carolina for the class of 2024. Now, he's vacationing with his family right now in Aruba. Can't hide money, dog. But did an interview anyway and said he is in line academically to graduate with the 2023 class and could enroll early at South Carolina if he chooses to do so. Should Reno move up to the 2023 class, he'd leave the Gamecocks with 3 offered quarterbacks for 2024.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
A former Mississippi State quarterback target is officially back on the market. Chris Parsons, he's a 4-star, the number 7 overall prospect from the state of Tennessee. He decommitted from Florida State and is now back on the market. When he picked Florida State, he chose the Noles over Mississippi State and SMU. That was back in last July of 2021. Bulldogs still don't have a quarterback commit for 2023, but they are apparently back in the mix for Chris Parson, who is the number 16 quarterback in the country, the number 328 overall prospect.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
And with college football right around the corner, Mark Stoops and the Kentucky Wildcats, they are getting their assistant coaches locked in long-term. The latest to get a contract extension there in Lexington is D-line coach Anwar Stewart. This will keep him in the Bluegrass through June of 2023. He'll earn $325,000 this season. You might remember Stewart. He was a former star defensive lineman for the Cats from 96 to 99. Played actually in Baton Rouge in 98 on that team led by Tim Couch. He's in his second stint with his alma mater under Mark Stoops. And there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you always get at Gulf Coast Office Products. And at Gulf Coast Office Products, they are a national leader among Savin dealers, but they will service all different models. So give them a shout at Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. The official office equipment provider of the Saints, Pelicans, Tigers, and ULL Raging Cajuns. Let's see, I don't know if I have time for this right now. I might break and come back and pick this up. Paxton Kling in less than 20 minutes from right now. Big 12 media days going on right now, and Mike Gundy kind of took a shot at Oklahoma and Texas. And rightfully, well, jokingly, he said he didn't understand why Texas and Oklahoma were allowed to participate in the league's business meetings. And part of me kind of understands that, and I guess that was one of those sort of like half-joking comments by Gundy where it's like, huh, 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 but he's really serious. And I guess I do get it because, I mean, they've already announced they're on the way out and they're heading to the SEC, so why would you want them to be privy to what's happening internally in the conference and moving forward? However, they are still in the conference for at least 2 more years, unless if they're able to leave early. Gundy also said, if they leave early and they dump $80 million our way, I think that's awesome. I would like to remind Mike Gundy and all of you, however, that the only reason the Big 12 still exists is because 10 years ago, when Texas and Oklahoma, the only 2 attractive brands in your crappy league, had the opportunity to go to the Pac-12, didn't. They stayed. They had an opportunity a decade ago to go make the Pac-14, but they didn't. They stayed in the Big 12. And they worked through it. They were rewarded for it. They have an unequal revenue distribution in the Big 12, where Texas and OU get bigger shares than the other members of the league. That's what they had to do to get them to stay, but they stayed. And had they not, your league would have folded a decade ago, and who knows where the Big 12 schools, the conference, or college football as a whole would be. So be careful dumping on Texas and OU. I get it, they're leaving you in a lurch, and it sucks if you're Mike Gundy. It sucks if you're any other school in the Big 12 because something's happening that affects your future over which you have zero control. And that sucks, and I'm sympathetic to that. But don't bite the hand that feeds, because the reason you are even in the position you're in today as a conference that still exists with the possibility of maybe adding Pac-12 teams, and they're the ones on the ropes now, and you might actually be able to survive, is because a decade ago, Texas and OU allowed you to survive when they didn't have to. Just saying. Some people conveniently misremember certain parts of history. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Get an Open Championship update. And in 15 minutes from right now, LSU baseball signee Paxton Kling will be with us. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, where next Saturday, getting the anniversary, Pluckers anniversary special started off right with $1 wings and $2 beers again, but that's not until next Saturday, so we'll tell you more. But remember, make plan to be there. Friday, July 29th, so next Friday is National Chicken Wing Day. There's going to be amazing specials that night as well. So make plans to be part of Pluckers anniversary special coming up starting next weekend. That's at Pluckers, Nicholson just south of campus, or Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, Uber Eats, DoorDash. Remember, at Pluckers, they've got award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Pluckers has been named a top 10 wing restaurant in America by USA Today and a top 5 sports bar by ESPN. Wall-to-wall TVs, award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, and a full-service bar, and always something going on at Pluckers. All-you-can-eat boneless buffalo bites tonight and every Thursday at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At Rejuvame, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy, giving you the energy you need for all life's challenges. We can help get your day started. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hutco Roofing brings you live coverage of the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, Monday, July 18th through Thursday, July 21st.
No, really, start over.
Hutco Roofing brings you live coverage of the... Why? Hutco Roofing brings you live coverage of the 2022 SEC Football Media Days, Monday, July 18th through Thursday, July 21st. Our coverage is also brought to you locally by Jerry Lane and Rejuvame and by 104.5 ESPN's official SEC Media Days sports betting partner, DraftKings.
I inadvertently stepped on the sponsor, who just happens to be a company that I'm partnered with, but regardless, you should never step on a sponsor. We're looking forward to being at Media Days starting on Monday. I walked into the second floor studio earlier today where our friend young Mussolini over there was prepping for early line in AFR, and I noticed his hat, which says St. Andrews unis.
No, Lynx.
Yeah,
Lynx,
it looks
yeah.
like unis. It's not a very good hat.
It's
You're
great
You're
hat.
convinced that it's a great hat.
It's a fantastic hat.
It's not a very good hat.
I love it.
But you may love it, but that doesn't mean it's great. But because you're a big fan of the British Open, do we call it just the Open or the British Open?
The Open Championship.
Where did that kind of get convoluted? Why do we sometimes call it the British Open?
Well, the official name of it used to be the British Open. Now it is just the Open Championship.
When did they change it?
That's a great question. Let's see.
That's why I do this job. I ask the questions that matter, right?
Yeah. When did they stop using British?
But some people still call it the British Open.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of important to
It is
the U.S. Open.
It is an important designation.
Yeah.
The British Open, the Open Championship, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, well, because this means so much to you, I was going to let you give us an Open Championship update. By the way, is there a British Open theme like there is for like the U.S. Open that we talked about has just the NBC golf theme? Isn't that what it is? Is like the greatest theme we talked about. The bum, 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 bum. It's very triumphant and
fantastic.
Great. Unlike the Masters theme, which is sleepy and boring. No, it's not great. Fantastic. It's sleepy and boring. It's Sunday nap time is what that is. Like, that's what I would play if I'm trying to fall asleep on my couch on a Sunday while watching a boring round of golf. The Masters is wonderful and all the history and grandeur and all that sort of stuff. The theme is very boring. It associates with the Masters, but the theme is very boring. And it is very, very boring. So is there a British Open theme?
Here you go. This is it.
Okay. Okay.
You like that?
Oh, I like that part.
It's good.
Oh, give me the horns. Yes. Okay, dude.
St. Andrews Lynx. The claret jug.
No. You got to do it with an accent.
Jim Nance doesn't have an accent.
It doesn't matter. You have to do it with a British accent.
St. Andrews Lynx.
I respect the effort.
The claret jug. I'm not British. What do you want me to do?
I know. I just wanted you to try to speak with a British accent.
Champion golfer of the year.
On live radio, and you did. Okay, what's going on over there at St. Andrews? Did you get up early there, Mussolini, and watch this stuff?
Not on purpose. I just happened to wake up at 4 o'clock and then went back to sleep. But
you were anticipating 4:20, weren't you?
No.
Hey, Paul, he got up at 4. He got up at 4. And
wrong 4.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, does it really matter? I mean,
not.
420 is 420. Twice a day?
I wouldn't know.
That's why you had, Muse, you just walked right into that one. I mean, how did you, why couldn't you pick?
I was just being honest.
Why couldn't you pick 3 or 2? Any of them?
Because I didn't wake up at that time.
Or 5.
Anyway, Cameron Young.
You know what we call that?
What's that?
Body clock.
Body clock.
420. I mean, you're just ready for it. Your body was ready for it. That's what it was.
American Cameron Young went out and shot 64 this morning at St. Andrews. He leads the Open Championship at 8 under par. Rory McIlroy not far behind, a 66 at 6 under. Then Cameron Smith, popular pick for every major. Cameron Smith, 5 under there. Scotty Scheffler, number 1 player in the world, 4 under so far on his tournament. He's finished for the day. Not many left back out on the course. Xander Schauffele, American, who won last week in Scotland. I don't want this to end. Hold on. Okay, we're good. He shot 3 under par today, so he's in a good position as well. Jordan Spieth, another popular pick, 1 under today. Left a few shots out on the course. Did old Spieth. Let's see. Oh, Tiger was bad.
I was going to say, how did Tiger do?
Tiger shot 6 over par.
That's all anybody really cares about, right?
Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Not everybody, but
the most bet-on golfer this weekend.
That's a real shame. Like, I don't know how. I think you could have maybe convinced me to make a play on Tiger to make the cut.
Yes.
But to win the Open Championship, well, that's just very foolish.
Yeah, that's betting with your heart, not your head.
Yes.
Type thing. 6 over par today for Tiger. That's 78. I don't think was really what he wanted, but that's what he got. A defending Open champion, Shane Lowry, even par. Tied for 55th right now. A little bit of work to do. And now Sam Burns. Well, we'll have Sam Burns and Tigers in the pros. Let's save that.
Well, there might be people
that's
who aren't
fair.
here.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Sam Burns shot, I believe, 1 over. Let me see if he finished yet.
Ooh. I just love it when it hits.
It's so good, isn't it? Hold on. Sam Burns, even par. He birdied 18, so Sam's at even as well.
Sam Burns, birdies 18.
Yeah, British accent.
To bring it back to even par. No, I just wanted you to do it to sound silly. Because
that's how it works.
It's my show. I can do whatever I want. That is how this works. That's 100% how this works. It's a cheer-tatorship, Muse.
A cheer-tator.
All right. I'm telling you, the Otter gave their consensus picks yesterday. Cam Smith was among them. Kurt Kitayama is one that Matt Humans gave. He's 4 under, long shot, good cash. All right, hour 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, where the brand new showroom is now open to the public. I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to get on by and check it out. If you're on Airline, you're going south into Prairieville. When you cross Highway 42, just look to the right. I mean, you're not going to go very far, a few hundred yards maybe, and it's there on the right. You cannot miss it. The giant Relief Windows logo on the side of the building. They basically took the theme of LSU's football ops, and that's what they used to build out the Relief Windows showroom. There will be a sales associate on site every Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, so you can get on by. It's open to the public. Walk on through, see all of the different demos, all of the different windows and doors and siding that they have there on site in the showroom at Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138, or ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports Suns center DeAndre Ayton will sign a 4-year, $133 million offer sheet with the Pacers. The Suns have 2 days to match, or else Ayton goes to Indiana. ESPN's Tim Legler.
There's never been a group of athletes that have had more power than NBA players do now, and it's taken a long time to get to that point. They're not going to give it up. I think the only way you could potentially ever see this change would be a really long, protracted holdout, lockout, whatever it may be.
Tim Legler on Get Up. It's the biggest offer sheet in NBA history. At St. Andrews in Scotland, day one winding down at the Open Championship, American Cameron Young, the leader at 8 under, 2 shots better than Rory McIlroy. Tiger Woods shoots a 6 over 78. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Cowboys and franchise tight end Dalton Schultz not expected to reach a deal on a contract extension before tomorrow's deadline. Schultz would then likely sign his 1-year deal under the tag.
If you need solid hires fast, you need Indeed. The all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates from the same place. Want to find your next great hire? Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 1 hour from right now, we will wrap up our LSU football position preview. We'll look at the specialist. If you missed any part of that series, you can catch it on demand at the After Further Review LSU YouTube channel, or on demand. Just search After Further Review at iTunes, Spotify. You'll see us there. LSU baseball got great news on Wednesday. Paxton Kling out of Pennsylvania, an outfielder, had previously said he planned to attend LSU, but made it official in withdrawing his name from the Major League Baseball draft list. Here was his coach, his high school coach, talking about Paxton Kling.
He's a 5-tool guy. He's as talented as we've had here. But what makes him really special is his baseball IQ. He's always wanting to learn things, and he's very coachable. And, he's been a good leader, too, this year.
And Paxton Kling is good enough to join us on AFR for a couple of minutes now. Hey, man, I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing really well. Hey, man, let's start with why you decided to make this decision and withdraw your name from the draft and not go through the process this weekend.
So mainly I trust Coach Johnson down there. He's done great things this last year with the team, and I think he's going to continue to do that. And I think that the best way for me to prolong my career is to come to LSU and learn from him and figure things out, hitting, fielding, whatever he needs to do with me. And I'm just thankful to have the opportunity to play for Coach Johnson.
Hey, Paxton, was this a really tough decision for you to come to make this decision to not go through the draft process and make this announcement now?
I mean, yes and no. Everyone wants to hear their name called on draft day, but I think it's going to be more beneficial for me to come to school and hear my name be called in the next 2 to 3 years, whatever happens. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just glad to be able to come down to LSU and just play whatever game I can play to help the team out to win.
Sure. I want to talk about your game a little bit, your recruiting process. You did tell me, though, you're going through summer ball right now up in Illinois. How's summer league going for you?
It's good. It's good. It's an adjustment to everything. Like high school baseball up in Pennsylvania, the competition's all right. But here we're facing like Big Ten arms or a smaller D1 arm. So it's good to see that A lot of guys are throwing backwards, like they're starting off speed first, and then they're coming maybe with a fastball later in the count. It's just good to see that there's different pitching, and it's good to compete against it.
I love the detailed answer. By the way, where are you in Illinois?
I'm in Danville. I'm playing for the Danville Dans.
For sure. A lot of LSU guys over the years have gone through that program. Absolutely, man. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the recruiting process for you. What did LSU's previous staff recruit you, or did Jay Johnson and his staff, were they the first to reach out to you?
I was actually committed to Coach Maneri. I was a freshman or sophomore in high school when I committed.
Okay.
And then when Coach Maneri retired and Coach Johnson came in and took the spot, I actually decommitted from LSU to get recruited by Coach Johnson. I wanted him to actually have a relationship with me and talk to me and everything. So my junior year, I decommitted, went on a couple visits, and then I absolutely love LSU, so I fell in love with it once again and was able to recommit there.
What is it about Jay Johnson? Paxton Kling is our guest. What is it about Jay Johnson that you said as we started, like you trust him to help you develop? What is it about Jay Johnson that led you to that belief?
I mean, he's a player's coach, and he's known for hitting. Like, they all say gorilla ball, whatever. He knows how to teach guys how to hit, and I think that's going to be beneficial for me to learn that.
One of the other things too, I find this really interesting. You're listed at 6'2", 210 right now. Is that accurate? I mean, is that about where you are?
Yes, that's accurate.
So it's strange because you don't always see dudes that are that big playing baseball coming out of high school, like to be that physically developed already. I mean, how does that or does your size play into your game, your style of game?
I mean, I try to stay twitchy and just athletic. So I try to do my best with that. Luckily, I had a good strength trainer to help me continue to get better with my twitchiness. Like, I put on 30 pounds this off season from lifting a lot, eating the right way, and just doing the right lifts to keep me athletic. Like, my 40 time got better. My 60 time probably got better than it was before. So I put on the weight the right way.
So just to be clear, you put on 30 pounds and got faster?
30 pounds and got faster.
Yeah, bro, like I put on 30 pounds this fall too, and I definitely didn't get faster. But that was probably mostly because, beer and cookies and stuff like that. A couple more minutes have passed both Paxton Kling. So is there a spot in the outfield where you're most comfortable?
I mean, I majority played center field my entire life, but here in Danville, I'm playing right, left. So any way I can get in the lineup, I really don't care where I play, or any way I can help the team, I'm fine with. So I can play wherever.
Would you be? Look, obviously LSU's got a pretty good center fielder. I'm sure you're well aware of that.
Yeah.
So like, would how would that work for you coming in? Like, if you go flank Dylan Cruz in either right or left field, what would it be like to play for him, or next to him?
I mean, it's Dylan Cruz. Like, everyone knows Dylan. He's going to be the number 1 pick next year. He's a great player, and I just can't wait to try to learn some stuff off of him.
I was just a couple more minutes. I was watching some of your videos, and man, like from the right side, like the power is there already. Would you describe yourself as a power hitter now, like, or are you a more hit for average guy where the power can come?
I mean, I try to just stay gap to gap. I'll run into one every once in a while, but they're mainly line drives, my home runs. So I mainly just try to hit the ball square on the nose and see what happens after that.
Where would you want to improve most between now and when you show up in the fall?
I definitely want to improve with hitting and everything here in Danville. SEC pitching is the best pitching out there. So I definitely need to learn how to hit better. If you learn how to hit and you can consistently do that, you're going to be in the lineup every day. So I'm just going to try to do my best and do my part with doing that.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to the new assistants yet as well, or are you just Coach Johnson?
I have not talked to the new 2 coaches. Just Coach Johnson. I've been calling him a lot lately. Like, I I called him 2 days ago to let him know I was going to pull my name out of the draft and everything.
Cool.
He was really fired up, and that was the last time that I got to talk to him on the phone.
I bet he was fired up, man. Got something special brewing in Baton Rouge for next season and for the next several years, obviously, and you're going to be a part of it. Paxton Kling. Y'all follow him on Twitter at Paxton Kling. That's Kling, and there on Instagram as well. Hey, man, it's a pleasure. We appreciate you taking a couple of minutes, man. We'll look forward to meeting you when you get here into Baton Rouge, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's our pleasure. That's Paxton Kling. How about that? He says he's primarily center fielder, as you typically would be when you're the best player in your high school team. I love the candor, saying he's the best player in the state of Pennsylvania, but said, look, I mean, the high school baseball in Pennsylvania isn't great, so it's been good for him to go to Danville this summer and to see SEC caliber arms or lower level Friday night type arms. So that's been a great thing for him to do. Likes to hit gap to gap. It'll run into one every now and again. I mean, if he can maybe, and one thing's a given is Cruz is in center and Pearson's going to have one of those outfield spots. I mean, Jay Johnson just loves Josh Pearson. Look, and he was great. I mean, but Jay has said on the record that Josh Pearson is going to be a superstar player, and you can see it. He's got all of the intangibles. He's a really good outfielder, and the power is already there for a guy that's that compact. But he's only going to keep getting better. So those two spots are filled. So you look at, okay, what is that battle going to be like for that third outfield spot? You got Josh Stevenson. I know some of you don't want to hear this, but like Trey Morgan is going to play some outfield this year. I'm not going to say it's going to be every day, but it's going to happen. You bring in Paxton Kling, some of the guys that are returning. And let's assume the draft doesn't go well for Gavin Dugas and he returns. Where does he fit in? It's going to be really interesting watching how they piece this together in the fall. I know when fall rolls around, everybody's focused on football. And look, I'm guilty of it as well. I've told y'all before, I do not pay attention to fall baseball. I don't have the bandwidth to do it when we're up to our necks in football. But that is going to be very interesting to follow because you're going to have a ton of options, of really good options. See who maybe in fall noses ahead to start the season there is going to be one of the more interesting position battles there to watch this offseason. All right, so Paxton Kling, he's on board, man. That's fantastic news. It's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Every year, 247 Sports releases their blue chip ratio. I'll explain what that is, but basically, it's a list that if you're not on this list, you literally have no chance of winning the national championship. Every year in college football, the team that wins the national championship came from this list. I'll let you know if LSU's on it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net. lainsurance.net. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Y'all, you saw the inflation numbers yesterday, didn't you? If you didn't, well, good, because it would probably just make you just cry. Everybody's looking for ways to get themselves in a better spot financially. You either got to make more money or save money to make your dollar go further. Insurance Network of Louisiana, they can help. Call Insurance Network of Louisiana. Do it right now. They're at the office, 293-0450. It's 225-293-0450. Even if you're outside of Baton Rouge, they service all of Louisiana. They're licensed in Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Arkansas. So if you're in the Southeast, they can help you. 293-0450. Let them shop independently for free. We have seen so many of our listeners save thousands annually on their insurance coverage. You could be next. Give them a call. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Oh, they got another one. Little breaking news here. LSU has picked up another commit for the class of 2023. It's a 3-star offensive tackle out of the state of Georgia, Paul Mubenga, who just minutes ago, here in the last 10 or 15 minutes, tweeted out his commitment graphic to Brian Kelly and the LSU football Tigers for the class of 2023. So the roll continues, the hot streak continues for LSU in the class of 2023. If you look up at the 247 profile quickly, Paul Mubenga, 3-star out of Buford, Georgia. Buford, by the way, is where Vidal Alexander came from. It's where Reed and Blake Ferguson came from. So Buford is a really good high school football program in Georgia that's produced a lot of high school talent, or a lot of college talent. It certainly has sent multiple players to LSU as well. So Paul Mubenga, he's a 3-star. National rank in the composite is 727. He's the 62nd best offensive tackle in the country. He's the 70th best player in the state of Georgia, listed at 6'4", 280. Had offers from LSU, Michigan, and others. So it's actually good timing that this came out because we're about to talk about the blue chip ratio. But I know sometimes when you look at a 3-star, you may not get super excited about it. I'll just refer to what we mentioned earlier this week when we were talking about the linebacker position, and I've continued to go through the list of 3-stars where, if you know what you're looking for, if you see style of player, characteristics that you're looking for to build your roster, then I'm okay taking a 3-star and saying, I know that guy in 2-3 years is going to look like what we want to develop him into. And there's no better class or example than the 2017 LSU class, which we've talked about a bunch, but that had 3 stars like Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Damian Lewis, even I'm blanking out. The fullback, the crazy fullback who had the face paint. Torrey Carter. Yeah, there, it went right to my brain. I mean, they hit on all those guys. So, I mean, if you know what you're looking for, you see it, roll. So, right now, Kyle Parker, the wide receiver out of Texas, Whit Weeks, the linebacker out of Georgia, Jeremiah Hughes, the corner out of Vegas, Paul Mubenga, the offensive tackle out of Georgia, Ashton Samps, the cornerback out of Rummel in New Orleans. All 3 stars, all who could see their star ranking rise as they go through their senior year, but guys that this staff has scouted. They felt comfortable not only in offering, but in accepting the commitment, and that puts LSU now with the 8th best class and 16 total commits for 2023. And remember, the hard cap is gone, so while they're at 16, that doesn't mean they only have 9 more spots. You can sign as many as you want in a class. You just can't go over the 85 anymore. So Paul Mubenga is the next in the class of 2023. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Tell you every single day, Shaw Bills. Again, no one is going to... Listen, you can go buy tires a lot of places. Box stores, membership clubs, other tire stores. A lot of people will sell you a tire. At Shaw Bills, they got 2 major commitments. Number 1, they're going to sell you the best tire on the road for the cheapest price possible. That's number 1. And number 2, they'll treat you like family. So when you come in, they'll get you in and out quickly. They'll always give you a fair price. They're going to communicate with you. If you need work done on your vehicle, they'll only do the work that you need done on your vehicle. That's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com to schedule that service. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Every year since 2013, actually since 2012, excuse me, 247 Sports and their national writer Bud Elliott has put out what he calls his blue chip ratio. This is very simply explained the ratio of 5 and 4 stars that you have on a roster over the course of 4 years. And that percentage tells you over this rolling period what teams actually have a chance to win the national championship, because it's never been below a certain number. So if you look at the blue chip ratio, for example, in 2021, Georgia won the national championship. Their blue chip ratio was at 80%. They beat Alabama, who was the only team that had a higher blue chip ratio a year ago for the national championship. In 2020, Alabama, the national championship, their blue chip ratio was 83%. All 4 playoff teams were teams that had an appropriate blue chip ratio. LSU in 2019 had a 64% blue chip ratio. Again, all 4 playoff teams met the blue chip ratio criteria. Clemson in 2018 had a 61% mark. All 4 teams were blue chip ratio schools. Alabama in 2017 was at 80%. Clemson in 16 had 52%, which was actually the lowest in this era. Alabama in 2015 was at 77%. Ohio State in 2014 at 68%. Jimbo's Florida State team in 2013 was at 53%. Bama in 2012 at 71%. Bama again in 2011 also was at 71%, the team that, of course, beat LSU for the national championship. My point is, the blue chip ratio has never gone below 52%. That was Clemson in 2016. So the benchmark is above 50% or above 52%. So what Bud Elliott has done is he goes through and looks at a rolling average over 4 years to say what schools have at least 50% 4 and 5 stars that they've signed over that 4-year period. And that makes up the blue chip ratio. And those schools, if you believe it, with this more than decade-long history, are the only ones that have a chance of winning the national championship. If your blue chip ratio isn't above 50%, you can't win the national championship because no one ever has. It's proof, again, that the teams with the best talent win. Yet, you can talk about facilities, you can talk about coaching, you can talk about conference, you can talk about all of it. And all of it factors in some way. But this is an irrefutable part of that metric. There have been teams who have made the playoff. Cincinnati a year ago did not meet the blue chip ratio, but they got waxed in their playoff game. Washington, when they made the playoff, got waxed. I mean, we've seen that before. Okay. There are 15 schools who meet the blue chip ratio benchmark. And yes, LSU is one of them. LSU is 7th among teams with the appropriate blue chip ratio. Alabama leads the way with a staggering 89%. Over 4 years, 89% of Alabama signees have been either 5 or 4 stars. The number 2 team on the list is Ohio State at 80%. Enormous gap. Basically, Alabama going to win a championship this year. I mean, just get ready for it. Georgia at 77%. I know I'm throwing out a lot of numbers, but if you're watching the graphics on the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, Oklahoma at 71%, Texas A&M at 70%, 5th best. Texas at 68%, and there's LSU at 66%. Now, I know you're going to ask, what about the transfers? I'm going to get to that in a minute because they did account for that this year. Clemson, Notre Dame, Florida, Oregon, Michigan, Penn State, Miami, and Auburn. That's the list. If you believe in the history, one of those 15 schools will win the national championship. Others need not apply. The really encouraging news, if you're LSU, is you're still on that list. Now, we've looked at the projected win total for LSU this year, and for a lot of reasons you can understand why the projected win total is where it is. Tremendous turnover, brand new coaching staff, back-to-back 500 seasons, learning to win again, all that stuff. So I'm not sitting here projecting LSU to win a national championship. Please don't misunderstand me. What I'm saying is LSU's roster is still, talent-wise, not far off from the best in college football and still considered among the most talented 15 rosters in college football. Listen, this most recent draft, isn't that the greatest condemnation on the results of the last 2 years? When you had that many guys drafted and you finished sub 500? That's the reason Ed Orgeron isn't the coach anymore, obviously. But the point is, there's still talent on this roster, as there always should be at LSU. Now, the really interesting part, which I just talked about, is the transfers. Because the transfer portal has clearly shaped a lot of this. For example, 2 of the 5 stars LSU signed in the past couple of seasons are Eric Gilbert and Elias Ricks. Neither are on LSU's team anymore. That matters, right? So this year, they did account for, they essentially released an adjusted blue chip ratio that did account for transfers. So what's your blue chip ratio without transfers? And then what's your blue chip ratio with transfers? You're probably not going to be surprised to learn that Alabama is still number 1. They actually went up from 89% to 90%. Well, I mean, you add a 5-star and Elias Ricks, and clearly you're going to go up. What will probably disappoint you is that LSU went, as much as we think of the transfers that LSU added, and I've tried to tell y'all, you're not better in the secondary losing Ricks and McLaughlin and adding the guys you did. LSU's blue chip ratio actually went down 4% as a result of the transfers. In part, 5 stars like Ricks and Gilbert, who left, factor into that. So LSU, actually, the roster with the transfers drops from 66% to 62%. So clearly that hurts. The roster turnover for LSU this year has hurt its total roster. The most incredible part of this, though, Paul, pull the graphic back up again if you would. Look at the differential. So if the transfers didn't affect at all, it's a white number, 0. If it affected you negatively, it's red. If it affected you positively, it's green. There's one team on the list, one, that has a green number. It's Alabama. They're the only team that had a positive impact from the transfer portal. Oklahoma went down 6%. Miami went down 6%. That's massively significant. Oklahoma makes sense, right? You lose the coach, Spencer Rattler transfers out, Caleb Williams transfers out. It just makes a lot of sense what happened there at Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma and LSU had coaching changes and major turnover, and you understand why their number was bigger than others might have been. But still a little jarring to see it. So there's good news and bad news. The good news is you're not far. You're not far. You're still among the 15 best rosters. Just talent 1 to 85. You are still among the 15 best rosters in college football today, based on this metric. But for this year, all of the transfers, your roster is not better than it would have been. And that's the disappointing part. Now, there are variables we can't account for. What if Jaden Daniels becomes the starter and just balls out? Awesome. You exceed your projected win total. Be fantastic. What if Jark Bernard Converse, Sevin Banks, Mekhi Gardner, those dudes go out and have all conference caliber seasons? Awesome. We'll let it play out and see how it goes. But there's a good news, bad news there. And the good news is, while it may not be great for LSU this year, you may not be a championship contender, you're not far. That's the really good news. All right. It's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. If you just jumped aboard in the middle of that, we're running through the 247 Sports blue chip ratio, where they take the 4-year average of how many 5 and 4 stars a class signs. Programs like since they've done this, dating back to 2011, no one with a blue chip ratio under 52% has won the national championship. So if your blue chip ratio isn't over 50%, you have no shot of winning the national title. And LSU is in. There's only 15 teams. By this metric, there's 15 teams in college football that have a shot of winning the national title. And LSU's one of them. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Some high praise for Tyrann Mathieu from an unlikely source. We'll get to that. Tigers and the Pros still coming up. And we'll wrap up our LSU position preview series with the specialists in 30 minutes from right now. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling a home, you know what to do. Call Darren James and get your home sold. Tell you every day working with Darren James, it's like getting the Ritz-Carlton experience with real estate. With Darren, it is all about giving you an unbelievable customer service experience. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Most user-friendly website in real estate. If you're searching for a home, just go to agent225.com. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You'll find it right there. Also, remember, if you're selling your home, Darren has buyers lined up ready to buy whatever you're selling. It's one of the reasons he's able to get to the closing table faster and why he's on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. That's the top 1% of realtors in America. That's Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Remember, you can always text the show in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We had thanks again to Paxton Kling, who was with us earlier this hour. If you missed that interview, you can catch it on demand on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or at by searching After Further Review on your favorite podcast app. Ben Fontenot said, any chance Tucker Toman takes his name out of the MLB draft? Literally zero. He's going to be a first-round pick. He's going to be a millionaire by the middle of next week. So he's a infielder, third baseman. There's just no shot at all that he ends up on campus. Fact check, Eric Hart said, Muse, Lowry was not the defending champ. It's Colin Morikawa is the defending Open Championship champion. Yeah? I don't know, but I'll take you. Want?
That might actually be right. I'm not sure.
I think
it all
is.
runs together.
But you did also fact check the British Open Championship. Update that if you would.
Yes, so 2017 is when the RNA, who organizes like Europe's version of the USGA, right? And they said they wanted to, quote, eradicate the term British Open.
Why? What's so wrong with that?
I don't know, man.
They just want to be just like the Open?
Well, that's what it started out as.
You know what it kind of feels like?
That's what it started out as was the Open Championship. And then the United States and Australia and just other countries referred to it as the British Open. And then some newspapers like in England started doing it. And I guess it just pissed the RNA off. I don't know.
You know what it kind of feels like?
It is Colin Morikawa. Lowry was the year before that. My mistake. That was the one in Northern Ireland that he won.
It's all good. Fact check. Appreciate the text. But you know what it feels like? It feels like ULL wanting to be Louisiana and being so adamant. Just call us Louisiana. No, you're not. So you know what? I'm calling them the British Open.
All right.
It ain't the Open. You're the British Open. That's what you are. You're the British Open. There's a U.S. Open. Is there a Swedish Open? Is there a Scottish Open?
Yeah, it was last weekend.
I guess
the Scottish Open was last weekend.
Boom. Guess what?
There's the Canadian Open.
The Canadian Open. Do we have a Mexican Open?
Maybe, but not on
tour. We have an Australian Open?
Maybe, but not on tour.
In tennis, you do.
In tennis, you do, yes.
You know what? You're the British Open. That's what you are. Not changing. We whipped your ass 200 years ago, and I'll call you the British Open if I want. Farmers with pitchforks and whatnot beating your big old sophisticated army. Take that, Britain. And you're open.
Strong words. Eradicate the term.
Eradicate.
Like,
I'm the wrong
Chill
guy.
out, man.
I'm like
It's
the
just
wrong. I'm the wrong human, like to tell me what to do and be that strong. Like, bro, I'm not super. Like, I don't like throw, preemptive strikes. But if you come at me, bro, better have your hands up and head on a swivel. I'm not telling you I'm gonna whip your ass every time, but there's gonna be a scrape. You're ready. British Open. That's why I love what Will Wade did with the goofy coach in the red blazer from ULL years ago. What was his name?
Bob Marlin.
Oh yeah, who cares? Anyway, yeah, play in your gym, Bobby. Take a timeout and just let that soak it up a little bit there, Bobby. I mean, this was high praise for Tyrann Mathieu from an unlikely source. Darren Waller, of course, plays for the Raiders, was on Chris Long's Green Light podcast, and he was talking about working with Derek Carr, and they were talking about bringing in Devontae Adams. They were talking about the division. And they get to the Kansas City Chiefs and kind of starts talking about, Tyreek Hill isn't there anymore. And on the defensive side of the ball, he mentions that Tyrann Mathieu isn't there anymore. And listen to what Darren Waller had to say about Tyrann.
Like just the dog nature, that dude's like a lion out there, It's like not many people can replicate that level of just like raising everybody else's intensity level and energy level and just a collective confidence up. So I wondered who's going to be that for them now, because few people, if any, can do it the way that he does. And I feel like he gave them identity, especially when, I feel like they'd struggled during the season, but then when it came time in the playoffs, they would just like flip a switch almost.
Right.
And I know I had to been leading on the front lines of that mindset and that mental shift. So we'll see how that works for them.
How about that? Basically saying, look, man, they weren't always there in the regular season. When they had to have it and step up the game, that was the dude, the lion dog mentality, the lion out there who made them work. Think about the AFC Championship game. Think about how much that game shifted when Tyrann went out of the game with the injury. I mean, that's when Cincinnati flipped the switch and was able to march their comeback. I mean, didn't it feel like, if you actually remember watching that game, it felt like Kansas City was just going to roll right through them. Like, after they had beaten Buffalo in the divisional round, the way they beat Buffalo, it just felt ordained. That's the team that had been there and done that, and Cincinnati was just going to meet their end. Then Tyrann went out, and boom, it just changed completely in that game. We know what happened. Cincinnati rallied and went to the Super Bowl. And it's interesting about Tyrann because when you look back, he had, after the injury in 2016, he had built back. Last year in Arizona, had 78 tackles, 6 for loss. And then in 2018, his lone year at Houston, had 89 tackles, which tied a career high. And then he goes to Kansas City, and then the production just dipped a bit. He went from 89 tackles to 75 to 62. The sack numbers weren't really there. Went from 3 to 2 to no sacks in 2020. And then last year had a little bit of a resurgence at 76 tackles, just 1 sack, did not force a fumble, had 3 interceptions. But when you had to have it, he was there. So that's why the reason that Waller's comments were so interesting to me is when I think about the Saints this year, I don't know that Tyrann Mathieu's numbers are going to pop. Like, I don't think he's going to be a guy that has 6 picks and 90 tackles. I just don't think the Saints defense is going to be built like that. But I think what he brings, what the intangible thing that Darren Waller talked about that caused everybody to elevate their game, I think that's where Tyrann's value is going to be most needed this year, and especially in a year where you got a new head coach and we've talked about, you need on-field leadership in that locker room. I think you're going to have it with this team, and Tyron's going to be a big part of that. Got me fired up hearing that quote from Darren Waller. All right, it's after further review. Quick break, wrap up hour number 2. When we come back, Muso will have Tigers in the Pros. We're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Of course, we at Hudco, proud to be the title sponsor of 104.5 ESPN's coverage of SEC Football Media Days. So you'll hear us all talking a ton about Hudco next week while we are in Atlanta for Media Days. But remember, commercial, residential, roof repairs, roof replacements, we do it all. Louisiana owned, Louisiana people, Louisiana shingles manufactured at the Certainty plant in Shreveport, Louisiana. Louisiana to our core. Ignore the door knockers. Do business with someone you know. That's me. That's Ryan Terrio. I tell you every day, you can email me directly, matt@hudcoroofing.com. Email me directly. I'd love to help facilitate for you. matt@hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. 364-1007. Would love to come give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. 364-1007 or HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's after further review. Muso has Tigers in the Pros next.
AFR.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
My own people Call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2 in 10 minutes from right now. We will wrap up our LSU position preview series looking at the specialists. That's coming up again 10 minutes from right now. Right now, though, our dear friend, Matthew Gerard Musso, has Tigers in the pros. Steven?
Tigers in the pros. Oh. They still bleed purple and gold.
Arthur?
They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Geronimo?
Nope. Alex Bregman last night. The Astros, they fell to the Angels. Bregman 1 for 4 on the night with a single. Average held steady at 243. Did get stranded when he hit the single and also stranded a runner in scoring position of his own, finishing 0 for 1 on the night in that category.
All?
Yes. Ah! Actually. Ah! That is correct.
Paul, did you know that you and Musso share a name?
I did not.
I got my what we learned today.
Fantastic name, by the way.
It's a good one. Real good one.
That's a little overrated.
Strong name.
That's a little overrated.
It's a Bible name. It's a good name.
That's still overrated. Next week on Overrated.
Overrated. The name
overrated
Paul.
names. The name Paul. Overrated or underrated.
DJ LeMahieu last night for the Yankees. Pretty solid night for old DJ. Little 2 for 5. 2 runs scored. Both of them were singles. Did strike out, but DJ in the DH role at the top of the order last night got the average all the way up to 270. Yankees with a comeback victory last night, 7-6.
And DJ scored the game-winning run in the 10th.
Hey, I didn't even know it went to extra innings. Wow.
It was, yeah. They rallied, tied it. DJ was on third. There was a wild pitch, and DJ scored the game-winning run, and I was very happy for 2 reasons. Number one, well, 3 reasons. Number one, the Yankees won.
There you go. That's not how you say it. Come on.
I don't really love the.
It's terrible.
Yeah. See, I'll tell. Just because it's my team. Yankees. Shut up, John Sterling. Anyway, that's why I watch the TV broadcast. I don't listen to the radio broadcast. Anyway, Yankees win. DJ scored the game-winning run.
Yeah.
And it was not Michael Papierski catching on the
wasn't.
wild pitch. It was Stevenson, who hopefully gets benched today. We can see Pap tonight.
Yeah, get the guy out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here.
He's terrible.
What a bum. Get him out
terrible.
of here. It was a tough pitch to handle, but
you're a pro. Come on.
Big league catcher needs to handle that pitch.
Yeah. Kevin Gausman will make his return after a brief injury stint tonight. He'll be on the mound to start for the Blue Jays. 6-6 on the season is Gauss, a 2.86 earned run average, 100 Ks in 88 innings pitched on the year, 16 walks.
Stupid.
That's dumb.
You're dumb.
And the Miami Heat in Summer League. The Summer Heat lost to the Summer Sixers last night, 75-71. Javonte Smart turned in 20 points to lead the Heat in 33 minutes, shot 8 of 26 from the floor, added 4 assists and a steal to round out his night. Open Championship, Sam Burns finished 1 over 73 today. I'm sorry, I take that back. He was even par 72. He's tied for 55th. Birdied that final hole. Work to do, though. 8 shots behind the leader if he wants to chase down his first major championship. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You will always get a beautiful diamond where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for 40 years, but 9 locations in all. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, even outside of Louisiana. And you will always, always, always Get the Lee Michaels experience no matter your budget. LMFJ.com. For Lee Michaels, fine jewelry. Okay, SportsCenter's coming up. We're going to get you caught up on national headlines. When we come back, we will wrap up our LSU position preview series. If you've missed any of them, you can catch them on demand. AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf on the After Further Review LSU YouTube channel. Subscribe while you're there as well. Or your favorite podcast app. Just search After Further Review and please subscribe to the podcast there as well. Hour number 3 of Thursday edition of AFR is coming up right after SportsCenter.
AFR.
I love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEYE.com. Eyewear, eye care, eye surgery. They do it all. If you have contacts or glasses, they got them for you. If you need that summer eye exam, do it now before the kids go back to school. They got Williamson Eye Center locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Denham, Zachary, right there on the Baton Rouge General Campus there on Bluebonnet. All over the greater Baton Rouge. New Roads, all over the greater Baton Rouge area. But remember their refractive procedures. If you are tired of shoving contact lens into your eye, if you're tired of reaching for those glasses, don't do it anymore. There's a way. Technology and science have come so far, no matter your age or refractive issue, the Williamson Eye Center has a solution for you to be able to see 20/20 without glasses. So call 924-2020 or online at WilliamsonEYE.com.
For over 53 years, customers have been heading to Happy Town for the Corval Toyota experience. Why? Because they choose to get an outstanding price and amazing customer service. Want the same and get treated like family? Then Corval Toyota in Opelousas is the dealership for you. Corval vehicles have been cruising around Acadiana for 5 decades. Corval Toyota is here to stay, and we want to keep you rolling. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports the Suns are expected to match a record 4-year, $133 million offer sheet to DeAndre Ayton from the Indiana Pacers.
Phoenix simply last year, when DeAndre Ayton was up for his rookie extension, would not offer him a max contract, simply did not value him at that level. And Ayton's agents, listen, I think they had confidence they could go out on the market and do exactly what they're doing today.
Woj on NBA Today. The Suns have 48 hours to decide if they will match. In the opening round of the 150th Open Championship, 25-year-old American Cameron Young goes out early, puts up an 8-under 64. He leads by 2 over Rory McIlroy and by 3 over Cameron Smith and Robert Dinwiddie. Phil Mickelson with an even par 72. Tiger Woods a 6-over 78. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports it's likely Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki will sign his franchise tag worth almost $11 million this year.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Matthew Giovanni Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. What a day. LSU awarded the number 7 jersey to Kayshon Boutte. Tigers picked up a 3-star offensive line commit for the class of 2023. Offensive tackle out of the state of Georgia, Paul Mubenga, 6'4", 280 out of Buford. It's been a really nice pipeline to LSU from Vidal Alexander, the Fergusons, Reed, and Blake, and Paul Mubenga continuing that there. LSU needs to get rolling on offensive line commits, and they got one today, which is great to see. Drew Brees, we may have some clarity on where and when he's going to return to television. We'll get to that in less than 15 minutes. Right now, though, let us wrap up our LSU position preview series. All right, so we have been doing this every day over the past 2 weeks, taking a look at every position group for LSU heading into the 2020 season. And we wrap it up looking at LSU's specialists. Like so many other spots on the LSU roster, a lot of production is gone. Cade York is the greatest kicker in LSU history. He's the highest drafted place kicker since 2016. He holds the LSU record for most 50-yard field goals. He holds the LSU record for points in a season. He's number 2 in career field goals made and career points. He holds the record with 118 consecutive PATs. Cade York is gone. Avery Atkins, who walked on at LSU and was a very good kickoff specialist, also last year served as your punter. He averaged nearly 43 yards per punt, and 54 of his 64 kickoffs resulted in touchbacks. He too is gone. 3 players returned at least one punt for LSU a year ago. Trey Palmer, he's now at Nebraska. Coy Moore, he's now at Auburn. Deion Smith tried to transfer to Ole Miss, but ended up in JUCO. Nobody on your roster today returned to punt for you a year ago. There were 5 players who returned to kickoff for you a year ago. The aforementioned Trey Palmer, Jontre Kirkland, who is now in the NFL, Corey Kiner, who has transferred to Cincinnati, Kayshon Boutte and Chris Hilton returned 1 kick apiece. And I don't think Kayshon Boutte is going to be returning kicks this year. So you are looking for return specialists as well. And for good measure, your long snapper, Quentin Skinner, he entered the transfer portal as well. Now, you went into the transfer portal and added Slade Roy, a long snapper from East Carolina, who very likely steps right into that role. But there are battles and competitions everywhere at LSU. Brian Kelly in the spring talked about the kicking competition. I promise, Brian Kelly talked about the kicking competition.
You know, we've got a freshman on the way, too, who's very talented that will be in the mix as well. I don't want to discount him, but our kickers have done a really good job. I know Brian's excited about him, and he wants to get him into Tiger Stadium and wants to see them kick. So we're going to kick off. They won't have anybody running down, but they're going to kick off. We're going to, we're going to convert all extra points in field goal situations because we want to let them get into Tiger Stadium and kick because they've really done a nice job throughout the spring. So we're going to let everybody see them and see how they handle it, under those circumstances.
Brian, of course, is Brian Polian, who not only is LSU's recruiting coordinator, but he is the special teams coach. And if there was one spot on the coaching staff, and we did this after Ed Ogeron was fired and the staff was turned over and Brian Kelly hired his new staff, and we went position by position and said, where are the spots where LSU was better a year ago on staff? Corey Raymond was one over Kerry Cooks. The other was Greg McMahon. Greg McMahon, I would argue, was Ed Ogeron's best hire as an assistant coach. He was phenomenal. Every LSU special teams unit and specialist got better over their time in Baton Rouge. He had an amazing eye who brought Cole Tracy here. He recruited Cade York. Greg McMahon was a sensational special teams coach. That's not even debatable. Brian Polian has huge shoes to fill. And what a year to have to do it when you are replacing everybody. So, the place-kicking battle. Nathan Diebert is the freshman signee who will show up on campus this fall. They've also got Trey Finnison. Trey Finnison is a grad transfer from Northwestern. He was their starter who handled kickoff duties in 2019, lost the job in 2020 and 2021, now is transferred to LSU as a graduate. They also have Ezekiel Mata, who is a sophomore walk-on from California. Those are your only 3 options at place kicker. As far as punter, you got 2. Peyton Todd returns. He's got a gigantic leg. He redshirted last year when he came from West Monroe. But the problem that they've talked about is his ability to control his punt. To just boom it, he's got that. The problem has been controlling it, angling it, positioning it. He's got to work on that. In the meantime, Jay Bramblett comes in. He was not here for the spring. Jay Bramblett was Brian Kelly's 3-year starter at punter at Notre Dame. Over his career, he averaged 41.6 yards per punt. Last year, he averaged 43 yards a punt. Jay Bramblett is very likely going to be your punter this year. That's why they brought him in. Here was Brian Polian on the battles at both punter and place kicker.
The competition is not whole until we get to the summertime when we add Jay Bramblett, when we add Nathan Diebert, and we're going to add a young man by the name of Trey Finnison, who will join us as a preferred walk-on as a grad transfer from Northwestern. So I'm pleased thus far. I think Damian Ramos and Zeke Mata have done a good job. We've really, only in the last couple of practices, got together as a complete field goal unit. So we were in the installation phase, but they're doing a good job. I'm encouraged. We've been splitting reps. There's no starter. It's just evaluation right now and trying to put them into as many competitive situations as possible.
So, as Brian Polian said, not complete until the summer. They are now complete as they begin those competition battles. Expect to see Jay Bramblett as your punter. I would expect to see Trey Finnison kick off, and they'll let the other kickers battle it out to see who is going to be your field goal kicker. Another big question is who returns punts and kicks. I've said this for as long as I've been on radio. At LSU, you will never have trouble finding a guy who can catch the ball, run really fast, and make somebody miss. I hate the idea of your star players returning kicks and punts. I never liked seeing Derek Stingley and his 2 pristine ACLs go back returning punts. The last thing in the world you ever need is some special teamer from Arkansas with his hair on fire trying to be a hero blowing up your superstar player. I don't need Kayshon Boutte returning kicks or punts. You got enough really talented guys back there. Let someone else get their reps that way. It was a great role for Trey Palmer last year, and we've seen other guys in that role in the past. They'll find it. One of the things overall, though, that I loved that Brian Polian said is about LSU's best players playing on special teams.
Our approach is you will see our best players out there. You'll see them on our coverage units because we believe that you have to cover kicks to win games. You got to cover punts, and you got to protect the punter. I mean, think back to the Green Bay Packers. They get a punt blocked, and they're out of the playoffs. I mean, you've got to be able to protect kickers. You got to be able to cover kicks to win games. And then we will, as it relates to personnel, there are spots where we will use our best players. And then there are roles for guys that will be 4-unit core special teams players that might be a backup on offense or defense, but will carve out a way to play winning football for us. And we view those players as starters. And really, that's what we're doing right now is we're evaluating the roster, trying to figure out who those guys are going to be.
For an LSU team that figures to have a very narrow margin this year with so many questions. And as we've talked, some of these questions are going to get answered to the affirmative. Some are not going to go great. That's just the nature of a football season. But when you figure to have a very narrow margin, special teams could be the difference in how a season goes. I can't help but think of 2018 and the role that Cole Tracy played. Without Cole Tracy, you don't beat Auburn on the road in 2018. Without Cole Tracy, you might not beat Mississippi State at home in the rain when he just kept making field goals. You think back to that bowl game in the Fiesta Bowl, as close as the margin got, Cole Tracy just kept kicking field goals and putting points on the board. Special teams matters when you have a small margin, a narrow margin. I think it's going to matter this year in a big way. They're going to have guys who haven't done it before step up in 2022. All right, y'all. That is our LSU position preview series. This is AFR. Of course, we're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. If you missed any of our preview series, go check it out. They're all on demand. Go to the After Further Review LSU YouTube channel. So go to YouTube, search After Further Review LSU. You'll see it. Subscribe. There's a Saints channel as well. Subscribe. Always, please smash the like button. It helps with all the algorithm and everything. And if you'd rather just listen, no worries. Just go to your favorite podcast app, iTunes, Spotify. Search After Further Review. Please subscribe. We appreciate that. While you're there, might as well search for LSU Daily as well and get 20 minutes of daily LSU content from yours truly. All right, it's After Further Review. Drew Brees. Looks like he might have a line on what his next TV gig is going to be. Let me rephrase that. What his next broadcast gig is going to be. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Getting a little nervous. It's Thursday. In less than 48 hours, what really feels like a national holiday in the Scone household will be wrapping up. That's right, the Drew Moscona birthday party extravaganza. My wife starts planning literally 2 months in advance for Drew's birthday party. Big part of that, Clegg's Nursery. We always have a pool party. It's indoor-outdoor, and so she always wants the outdoor areas looking pristine. And Clegg's is a big part of that. Full greenhouses, beautiful flowers to plant in the flower beds and the patio pots. I'm telling you, Clegg's is a great spot to go. If you need mulch or soil by the bag or bulk, even outdoor decor, from outdoor mats, your doormats and garden flags and wind chimes, they've got it all. It's Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 90.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, it looks like Drew Brees may be close to finding his next gig. So there is a report today, and this was at Front Office Sports, but I know other outlets have it as well. But there's a report today that Drew Brees is being eyed by Amazon Prime Video to be one of the stars of their quarterbacks-only megacast of Thursday Night Football. So remember, Amazon now has the rights to Thursday Night Football. And the broadcast is going to be Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit doing the play-by-play and the color. But something that they're planning is a companion show in the same way that there was the Manning cast. There's the, for Monday Night Football this year, ESPN does the K-Rod with Michael Kay and Alex Rodriguez on Sunday Night Baseball. It's just what's happening now. What's really interesting to me is you, the consumer, are actually, even if you don't necessarily know the terminology or metrics or any of that sort of stuff from the inside baseball stuff from the business, you actually know this better than a lot of executives do at traditional media companies. But you understand why companion shows are successful. How long have we been doing companion shows here? For the draft, for games, whatever it may be, right? Because it's just the nature of the way that media is going as far as live sports. Everyone watches a second screen now. Nobody just watches a game. And maybe the second screen is your phone with Twitter open, or maybe it's you watch the game on TV and you have a tablet open with a companion show that you're watching along with, whatever it may be. But one of the big battles now is not only for the eyeballs for the game, but also the second screen to make people go to that platform. That's why you're seeing things like the Megacast, the Manningcast, the K-Rodcast, and what Amazon's going to do. Now, apparently, much of Amazon's Megacast planning hinges around Pat McAfee. They feel like Pat McAfee will be able to draw guests the same way the Manningcast has done on ESPN for Monday Night Football, so they're really trying to replicate that. But apparently they're also going to have a quarterbacks-only Megacast for 4 to 6 weeks of Thursday Night Football, and Drew Brees potentially could be a part of that. I like that idea a lot. I like the idea of watching a Thursday Night Football game. Now, if it's a game that I deeply care about, if the Saints are playing on Thursday Night Football, I'm going to be watching the traditional broadcast. But if it just happens to be a Thursday night where we get the Browns and the Bills, like, I don't know the Thursday night schedule, I'll have it in front of me, but I don't necessarily really care, or the Jags and the Colts. I'll probably watch the companion cast, the quarterbacks only. Like, it would be fascinating to see a broadcast where you're watching and there are just this group of really successful former professional quarterbacks that are watching the game and expressing it through their eyes and what they know. I mean, that would be something that is, I think, very compelling television and content, and I think Drew Brees would be great at that. The polish that it takes to be the color analyst of a broadcast is very difficult, and few guys immediately off of their playing career step right into that primary role the way that Tony Romo did. I know he's kind of like the standard now, but that's just very rare, even for a quarterback. No matter how great you were, it's hard to make that transition into live broadcasting. So Drew Brees also valued, like we talked about, very much his schedule, his lifestyle. And I mean, if you think of it this way, the act of calling the game for 3 hours isn't, if you can, when the mic turns on, you can or you can't, okay? The prep for it is the work. Like, I'll tell people that all the time about this. Doing this show, the 3 hours of radio isn't the hard part. Like, this is the fun part. This is like playing the game. The hard part is the meticulous prep and booking guests and putting the show together. This is the fun part. This is like game day. But it's similar for Brees. Like, you retire from football, you want to spend more time with your family. Well, you're living in San Diego. You got Sunday Night Football or Football Night in America in New York, and you got Notre Dame playing in South Bend. So you leave San Diego on a Thursday or a Friday to fly to South Bend, and then you're there to call a game on Saturday. The game ends on Saturday. You fly to New York. You spend all day watching football on Sunday. You do Football Night in America Sunday. Then Monday morning you fly back across the country to San Diego. Then you're jet lagged, and you kind of recover on Monday. You have Tuesday, Wednesday with your family, and you're doing it all over again. Like, that's a hell of a, I mean, that's a lot. That's a grind. It's a different kind of grind than a football season and playing and being a quarterback. I'm not saying he's, building the railroad or digging ditches or anything, but if your objective was spend more time with your family, that didn't really allow you to do it. This would. Because theoretically, if you're part of this quarterbacks-only megacast, I mean, they could all do it remotely. So you could stay at his home the whole week, and just 4 to 6 weeks, you pop up on a Thursday night football game, and you're just hanging out with dudes watching the game and talking about it. That's cool. Another possibility for Drew Brees, apparently, is being a game analyst with Fox Sports. Of course, with Troy Aikman, leaving for ESPN along with Joe Buck, everyone sort of moves up a chair. Now, that's ultimately going to be Tom Brady when he retires. We already know that. But in the meantime, it might be Greg Olsen who steps into that role of the number one. Well, then if everybody moves up a chair, it leaves a vacancy, and that could be Drew Brees, could be Sean Payton. I said before, I would love to see a scenario where Brees and Payton are on a broadcast together. You have a play-by-play man, then Brees, Payton is the sort of co-color analysts. I think that could work very well, or at least it would be intriguing to watch to see how that would work. But Drew Brees, that is apparently what is coming down the chute for him, is to be part of the quarterbacks-only megacast, at least one of the options for him, to be part of the quarterbacks-only megacast for Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime Video. I'll look forward to it. For what it's worth, Amazon's already hired Ryan Fitzpatrick. Brett Favre has said he's interested in broadcasting NFL games at the right price. Jay Cutler has said he wants another shot at NFL TV. Phillip Rivers could very well jump into TV. So you've got a lot of options out there of these retired quarterbacks who might make up this quarterbacks-only megacast or however it may work out. But what's obvious right now is that every broadcast entity, and I say entity because I don't mean just traditional television, Amazon, Apple, Disney, all of them that are producing original content and are now bidding on the rights for these games, like they're all content platforms. So it's not just TV, it's just any broadcast entity. They're all producing more and more content aside from just the game itself, but what sort of associate content, what can ride sidecar, what secondary broadcast can exist that would only drive more and more eyeballs, more and more attention, and that is going to require more and more talent, be it ex-quarterbacks or broadcasters, whatever, to be on those events. So it's a really exciting time. I mean, maybe I'm just kind of sort of geeking out over it a bit because I'm in this industry, and it's fascinating to watch the evolution of it like it would be in any industry if your business was evolving during that time where you were living through it. But it's happening right now. I mean, we're living through a transformative period of our life in the internet age and the digital age, and it's affected few industries the way it has ours because of the ability for anybody to have distribution immediately because of the internet. So, Drew Brees, I'm certain, will be a part of something this fall. What, we'll see, but it looks like Thursday Night Football and a quarterbacks-only megacast could very well be it. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all at GMFS Mortgage. Look them up online at GMFSmortgage.com. Remember, a cash-out refi is a great option right now. If you want to take some of your home's equity out to do that renovation, do that home improvement project, to put in a pool, to add an outdoor kitchen, to renovate your kitchen or your bathroom, GMFS Mortgage can help with a local loan officer who's just extremely helpful. We've been through the process plenty of times with GMFS. They want to be your lender for life. They've been voted the #1 best place to work in Baton Rouge. They're just awesome people. I'm thrilled to be associated with them. #1 in Louisiana, #11 in the country for USDA lenders. That's GMFS Mortgage. GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. All right, it's After Further Review. There is some football news today. If you're just jumping aboard, you haven't heard us yet. Kayshon Boutte is going to wear the number 7 jersey for LSU coming up this football season. I think it's a great indication that he is re-engaged from where he was, around December when Brian Kelly got the job, and Brian Kelly talked about how he and Kayshon Boutte maybe were at odds and how the transition had been tough for Kayshon. This very clearly indicates that he is re-engaged, he's committed, he's in. And remember, the last 2 number 7s, Jamar Chase, Derek Stingley, neither played their season in the number 7 jersey. And you had Jamar Chase opt out of 2020, and then last year Derek Stingley played just 3 games. So before he was injured and shut it down. So would love to see Kayshon Boutte buck that trend. Selfishly, if you love LSU and you want to see LSU win, you obviously need him to be great this year. And he seems pot committed and hoping for a great season from Kayshon Boutte, who will wear number 7. And the football Tigers also continued their hot streak. Paul Mubenga out of Beaufort, Georgia, 3-star offensive tackle. He has committed to Brian Kelly and the Tigers, so he makes the 16th commit for the class of 2023, the first offensive lineman. 6'4", 280, out of Beaufort, Georgia. He's ranked the 62nd best offensive tackle in the country, number 727 nationally. But you look at the dude at 6'4", 280, who's got plenty of weight that he could put on that frame and continue to develop as he heads into his senior year. But LSU's got their first offensive line commit for the class of 2023. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. We will continue on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. I have some incredible news to share. Of course, look, first of all, y'all know Rouse's, curbside pickup and delivery options. Go to the website or the app. tap the curbside delivery or pickup options, and you'll see if you want your groceries delivered to you, they can do that. They can shop for you, pick out all the the items. When you pull up to the Rouses, the designated Rouses, they'll bring it out to you. But a very, very cool thing coming up. So I want you to put this on your calendar right now. Not this Saturday, but next. So it's July 23rd. So not this Saturday, but next, July 23rd, at the Rouses in Denham Springs. They're going to be having a rare bourbon tasting from 10 to noon. And said now, unless they run out first. Michter's 10-year, Old Forester 150th anniversary, Stag Jr., Thomas Handy, Van Winkle Lot B, and Weller 12. Make plans to be at the Rouses in Denham next Saturday.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
Visit Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
You know, every time over the last 3 years, safe to say, that there's been a feature or some type of story written about LSU basketball, it's been negative. Is that fair to say? We could obviously highlight the fact that Will Wade had a lot of recruiting wins over that time. From the initial publication of the transcript of the strong ass offer and all that happened, and then the night at the PMAC against Vanderbilt where Wade was out and suspended, and everything that happened, From that point until Will Wade was fired, with the rare exception of the announcement of a big-time prospect committee in LSU, and there were many. Overwhelmingly, if you saw a story about LSU basketball, it was negative. It was some regurgitation of the same story that we had heard so many times, in the expectation of an NOA, people just wanting their pound of flesh from Will Wade. You all know it, right? I mean, it's just, you know what I'm trying to say here. Which is why it was really refreshing today to read the feature that Jeff Borzello wrote at ESPN.com. I would highly recommend, if you're an LSU fan, if you're interested in LSU basketball, go check this out. Jeff Borzello did a really good job. The headline is How Matt McMahon and LSU Became College Basketball's 2022-2023 Expansion Team. And essentially what Jeff Borzello did is he ran through how Matt McMahon built a roster that had been completely decimated, a week into his tenure, essentially. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but a few of the things that stood out to me. So it was actually April the 1st. And so he drew an interesting correlation with April Fools. But Imani Wilkinson entered the portal, and he became the 13th player. Easton and Days went to the draft. 4 other starters entered the portal, and then 5 reserves were on the transfer market as well. So 11 days into McMahon's tenure, he did not have a single player on the roster. Think about that. Think about how terrifying that must be. You take a job, 11 days later, you have 0 players. 0. And so what Jeff Borzello did is he sat down with Matt McMahon and he basically got the plan of how they rebuilt this roster. And maybe the most encouraging thing, and I loved this. I love this quote. It was from assistant coach Casey Long, and he said, "Quote: I told Coach this is a positive. It gave us an opportunity to lay the foundation. If you want to build a house, you want to build a house on a solid foundation. You don't want to knock it down and have cracks in the wall. You want to start new, build it up, and now you have exactly what you want in a program. And we're fortunate to have the opportunity to do that." What perspective? I mean, you took an overwhelming negative and spun it into something really positive, because it's true in the sense that you don't have to try to mesh the old with the new. You started over. Like, everybody that's here is brand new. I know you got 3 guys back, and I think they're all very, very important in the fact that Imani Wilkinson, Justice Williams, and Adam Miller all were on the team a year ago, and now they're back. But in essence, they had all left and decided to come back. They recommitted, not to LSU, but like the new staff, right? They broke the construction of the roster into 4 phases: retaining players from the current roster, bringing players from Murray State, recruiting the portal, and then high school players. And so they go through how they were able to get Wilkinson, Justice Williams, and Adam Miller to recommit, how they brought in... Been a minute. How they went and hit the Murray State guys who ultimately came over, highlighted by KJ Williams, the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year, who withdrew from the draft and decided to come to LSU, going into the portal. And this is interesting. He said they were specifically looking for players with multiple years of experience and multiple years of eligibility remaining. So when you look at Kendall Coleman, Cam Hayes, Derek Fountain, guys who had been in college basketball for multiple years with still multiple years remaining. So it wasn't going to be a 1-year Band-Aid with an older guy, or a guy with no experience where you're just starting over with this player. And then they looked at high school. Some of the guys that he had committed, like Cornelius Williams, had been committed to Murray State. So that was easy to get him to commit, to flip to LSU. And then they went through and got other guys as well. So it was It's a really, really good piece. I would highly recommend that you go read it. It's satisfying in that if you're an LSU fan, even though there's a lot of ambiguity still hovering over this basketball program where you know NCAA sanctions are coming, you just don't know when they're coming or how severe they're going to be. So you're moving forward with this cloud chasing you, and you don't know when the rain is going to pour and how heavy it's going to be. But I get the sense that Matt McMahon is just moving forward, realizing he can't control that cloud at all, so he's going to keep moving forward. And then when it does, you deal with it as it comes. But the plan that he put out to build this roster was really encouraging. It's just a question of, will he be able to continue to recruit and build a roster that can be a championship caliber roster? But that's why he came here, because he's going to have resources that he didn't have at Murray State. And he's going to have an opportunity in a power conference to win at a level he didn't have at Murray State. Look, this guy's been to the tournament 3 of the last 5 years and won games in the tournament as well. But at a place like Murray State, you just have a glass ceiling. And at LSU, you can break through that. It's something LSU has been looking to break through throughout its existence. They've been to Final Fours, but they've never gotten over the hump all the way. Is Matt McMahon the guy to do it? I don't know. But I loved the very, very considerate and obvious nature that he went about rebuilding this roster, and the mindset that he and his staff used and to approach this, because I don't know that you could have done it any other way. So go read it. Jeff Borzello, really good feature up right now at ESPN.com about Matt McMahon. And it's just, as I mentioned as we started, it's really nice to see something overtly positive written about the LSU basketball program when it's really been nothing but a cloud of negativity now for more than 3 years. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Remember, 9 different IIHS top safety picks, which means you're driving one of the safest vehicles on the road. That is the highest safety designation that you could possibly get. So when you get behind the wheel of the car, when you strap your children into the car seat, like I do with Drew every single day when I bring him to school, he's strapped into a car seat in my Volkswagen Atlas. I know that he and I are safe in that vehicle. When Erica drives her Atlas, I know she's safe driving around town. Or maybe you're at that age where your children are driving, you can also have the peace of mind knowing that you get not only an affordable car that's stylish that they'll love, but that's safe. Go test drive a Volkswagen today. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, or SouthPointVW.com. That's South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? Okay, y'all, we are just about done tomorrow. Looking forward to a Friday show tomorrow. I candidly have no idea if Terrio's going to be here. No idea. Called Terrio yesterday morning. This is honest to goodness true story. I said, hey, where are you? He goes, we're in the car heading to the beach. I was like, well, where are you going? He goes, don't know. We're just heading south and east. Literally no plan. I mean, part of me loves and respects the spontaneity. Like, don't we all wish we had a little bit of that in us? Like, when you're younger, you have it. But usually you get older, you get married, you have kids, and you become much more routine-oriented and structured. Not the Terrios. Ryan, Jonna, and their 3 kids just got in the car and started driving east with no plan.
How does that work?
I don't know. I don't know where he is. I talked to him yesterday morning. Have not talked to him today. I was like, when you come back? He goes, whenever we feel like it. No plan. So I genuinely have no idea if he's going to be here tomorrow. Hope to get an answer tonight, maybe. But I'll be here tomorrow, and it'll be our final show before we head to Atlanta for SEC Media Days. We'll look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. One thing left to do. Otterlocks. Jimmy's going to join us from Del Mar, where the surf meets the turf. Otter's betting on the ponies, but boy, he's going to have some baseball bets for us. Otterlocks next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Check them out at brgeneral.org. You want to find out about all the different services that they offer at the Baton Rouge General, go to the website at brgeneral.org. When you scroll down, you'll see all of the different things that they offer. If it's the Pennington Cancer Center, which is very prominently displayed if you pass the Bluebonnet campus. Their emergency care. Of course, they reopened the ER at their Mid-City location during COVID, and they also have an emergency room at the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. So emergency care all over the Baton Rouge area. Their Heart and Vascular Center. Had 3 relatives in the last couple of years that have had their lives saved by the fast-acting professionalism of the doctors and nurses at the Heart and Vascular Center at the Baton Rouge General. You can even deliver your baby at the Baton Rouge General. Learn more online at brgeneral.org. That's brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $10,000 off MSRP on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, we're going to get to Otterlocks here in just a quick second. Are we good? Okay. All right, we're going to get to Otterlocks here in just a quick second. Jimmy is at Del Mar. All right, so let's go to it then. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Workbox Services. For over 20 years, Baton Rouge's leader on on-site construction, industrial, and residential services.
All right, so we turn to the one and only, the incomparable, the often incomprehensible a man who is presently hanging out where the surf meets the turf. Del Mar. I assume he made it. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm here, baby.
Hey! When last we saw, it was a photo of a laptop with a game, an airport bar with a freshly served a Bloody Mary, and what I would assume a very happy Oddfather taking the photo.
Yeah. Well, we are here. I'm in a little place called Solana Beach, which is about 5 minutes north of the track. Got the convertible, top down, and it is about 71 right now. 71. So.
Okay. Before I jump to the phone.
Sorry.
Hey, no worries, Otter. I'm going to Atlanta on Monday.
Oh, man, I wish I could go. Any week but next week.
All right, man. Hey, real quick, before you get to tonight's picks, after the first round of the Open Championship, do you see any value on any plays after round one?
Gosh, Matt, I'm kind of off on that.
Okay, no
I'm
worries.
very happy about Cameron Smith.
Yep.
500 today. I think he is second or third choice. They put Rory McIlroy as the updated odds to be first choice. I think I got a real shot for Cameron Smith. So got him about 3 months ago at 35-1. So, I mean, it's actually, I'll tell you late night, Saturday night before Sunday's final round at the Masters, you could catch, because they didn't adjust his odds to finishing runner-up right there. And so we got it at 35-1 at that point. I want to say it was like 25-1 when it before the tournament started this time.
So right now, the updated odds are right. Rory, I'm looking at plus 360. Cameron Smith at plus 700. I did listen to Matt Youmans yesterday with Hanny, who I'm going to tell you what, Otter, one of the ones, he gave out Kurt Kitayama, who
yes.
was like 1750. I mean, it was incredible long shot, and he's 4 under. I mean, he's right. It was incredible to see him make the run he did today. So
I had Kitayama in some matchups because him and Herbert were in Phil Mickelson's group, and so I was looking to get anything I could to fade Mickelson. Now Mickelson shot way better than I thought at even par, but still both Herbert and Kitayama beat them. So got that one cashed. So that's
good. All right, Otter, what we got on baseball tonight?
All right. Here we go. You got your pen?
Ready.
White Sox coming back, decent price. St. Louis, maybe they'll just leave the bullpen where they are tonight. We're taking them plus the money. Parlay money line Cleveland and Texas, and the Cincinnati Reds against your Yankees. What?
That one gets the last two nights of that series, not as a bettor, but just as a fan, have been maddening. I mean, the Yankees completely pissed away Garrett Cole's gem 2 nights ago, and then last night they just robbed Cincinnati blind of a game. So I mean,
I know.
It's incredible how those last 2 nights went the way they did. It is Cortez against Castillo tonight.
Yeah,
the Bronx.
Castillo's having a great year, and he's also probably going to get traded. So he's trying to make a good impression. He's been on fire as of late, and that's the whole thing. He's just pitching really good right now. So.
Okay. All right, Otto, you got anything else? Just playing baseball? How'd you do at the track today?
Well, Del Mar, the opening day is not until next Friday. So
you're just hanging out.
It takes me a week to settle in. So.
All right, Otter. Do you know where Hanny is tonight?
Hanny is at Walk-Ons and Brewing.
Okay.
So yes, Max the intern doesn't have to cross the bridge for the show tonight. So he's excited.
All right. Otter, have a great trip. Are we going to talk to you tomorrow? Are you good to do Otter Locks tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll be around. So you let me know same time.
Same time.
Oh
Hell
my
yeah,
God!
man. Same
Look
time.
at
Let's
her
do it.
walking the beach. Oh my God, Lord! Hey, I got a convertible. Hello.
All right, Otter. Have a great night.
I may be 100, but come on.
Go give her your number. Go give her your. Just write down your phone number on a piece of paper like they used to do 30 years ago back in your day. Thank you, Otter.
All right, brother. See you.
We'll see you. That is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott with Charles Hannegriff. Follows us here in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com or the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Muse, what did you learn today?
Paxton Kling put on 30 pounds and got faster.
Crazy. Go back and listen to that interview if you missed it. Paulie, what did you learn?
The British Open is actually not the name anymore.
Yeah. What year did we say?
2017.
2017. They are eradicating the name British. They just want to be the Open.
What'd you learn today, Matt?
Your middle name is Geronimo. That's Matthew Geronimo.
Not true.
Musso. The 4th.
Nope.
The 5th?
Nope.
See you tomorrow.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. As a matter of fact, my buddy Joel McMullen over at Michelli did message me today. We've been telling you that they are looking to fill spots at their Harahan office and in Baton Rouge. Well, you can add to that now Lake Charles. So if you're listening to us there on I-10 West, they need service technicians for Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, and the Harahan, New Orleans office. They're looking for a shipping and receiving clerk in Harahan and a service administrator in Harahan. It's really easy. Just go to the website, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Right at the top of the page, you'll see the Careers tab. Just tap the Careers tab, fill out the info, select the job that you want to apply for. Boom, you're there. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, a locally owned and operated business celebrating 75 years strong. They're hiring at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance with the latest in office technology from desktop to production